Let's talk, dude.
Let's do it, man.
Baby girl, love of my life.
That's good.
Gabby.
Welcome.
Happy to be here. Thank you, guys.
Happy to have you on. What is going on?
Gabby Castillo, everybody.
This is
When worlds collide, bro. Best friend, girlfriend, what's going on?
Hell yeah. We're here. We're present.
Yeah, bro.
Let's do it.
How you feeling?
a little nervous, not gonna lie. I don't know, just this type of environment scares me. You know how I feel about cameras and, you know, things like this. But I'm really happy to be here.
Yo, but like that pressure, I feel like she thrives in that environment,
I
dog.
can already see it. Like, she's has some cool ideas. She's brewing some things up.
Like the nerves
Yeah.
are there, but the performance comes along with it. And then when you lock
I
in,
appreciate that.
Gabby
forget
got some
about it.
basketball experience, I heard.
Oh my
Yeah.
god. Are we gonna start off with that?
We can start off with whatever you want. I just want to say your story.
Yeah.
Tell the audience your
Yeah.
story. What all about Gabby?
Yeah. So today the topic is like expectation, like expectations you put on yourself and that others place upon you. You know, based on what they know about you and things like that. So, I could just start off like growing up. Obviously, like I'm also Gabe's twin sister for those who don't know. So you know, Gabe's crazy dramatic.
We had Gabe on a
Podcast.
couple episodes ago.
So growing up, you know, I had a very, you know, strict upbringing, Dominican, myself, and then also my brother and my sister, back there. So in terms of academics growing up, that definitely was very big in my family and still is. And, you know, they place a lot of expectation on, you know, certain grades you should get, you know, certain schools you should get into, and those types of things. And, you know, growing up, that definitely was a lot of pressure for me. And that definitely did affect my mental a lot. But obviously that got me to where I am today. Like, I was valedictorian in my high school class, like, currently, like, thriving. So that definitely made me who I am. But that's, you know, we always have to talk about the negatives that also come from those types of things as well. So
what do you feel like has shaped you more, the positives that came out of it or the negatives?
Oh, that's really good. I would say the positives for sure. Like, that really made me who I am, and that gives me like personal value in a sense, and that makes me self-confident and feel like I can like do challenging things in the future, and like I can take upon anything. In terms of the negative, I feel like those are things that I'm always working on, like confidence, self-esteem. Like, that's something that can definitely be built upon over time. And that's where I stand with that.
You got something to say over
yeah,
there?
just
my
talk,
mic.
just talk, talk
Yeah.
closer to the mic because
enough
you're
for me,
like
guys.
really far away from the mic.
Sorry, I'm not professional.
fine.
No, it's fine. I
Can
just
you
want,
go up a little bit?
I just want them to like hear what you have to
Yeah,
say
yeah.
because you're dropping some bombs right now.
Huge.
Yeah.
I think one thing that she touched upon was that, like, she took a lot away from the positives, but the negatives still needed to be there.
Yeah.
And if the negatives weren't there, do you feel like that it would have like inflated your ego in a sense, and that would have had even a greater like contraindication on the expectations that others had?
I think the negatives definitely keep me humble in a sense. But sometimes it takes away, like, from my own, I don't know, it's really hard for me to accept a compliment,
Yeah.
which I don't like that. Like, I don't know, I just feel uncomfortable when anyone compliments me. I don't know, I just don't believe it. And I think that also is like stems from like the negative aspect of
Yeah,
not
but
reaching
that
expectations.
mindset, I mean, it could come off as toxic, but in all reality, it's like you don't accept a compliment because you know there's more work to be done.
If
Right.
that's the intention.
If
Is
that's
that,
the
I
intention.
do agree with that.
Yeah.
I do think like
do you think the fact that when you believe more work needs to be done, do you believe that it also limits you in terms of recognizing what's already there?
Oh, I definitely would say that whenever I accomplish something, I'm always looking for the next thing to accomplish. Like, I never really sit there and I'm like, I did that. Like, I never, and that's something I really want to change. And Fran really like teaches me to like, stop, like, think about, like, you know, you did that. Like, stop questioning yourself, like, and you know, just realize your capabilities and what you've done.
Yeah, like, okay, so now hearing it when I'm like in my podcast environment, it's like she just explained a growth mindset. There's no top of the mountain. You're a fucking lion. You want it, you're gonna get it. When you get it, you're gonna keep going. Fucking love that. That's gonna make you super successful. But in terms of your mental health, when I'm the emotional boyfriend, it's like, babe, like you just did that. Like,
Yeah.
let's go out to dinner and celebrate. You know what I'm saying? It's like, take that time to say thank you, Gabby. Like, give yourself a pat on the back, because there's definitely times in your life that you really need that.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, your mindset's like, I did that, now I'm ready. Like, you're really ready compared to still being caught up.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get raw here. I want to get real raw, and I want to challenge you.
Oh my gosh.
So before, you like brushed over the fact that you were valedictorian, and I think that is an example of what we just said. And I'm just gonna challenge you right here for a second, just on the spot. You know, I love doing this to people, just because I also like being on the spot.
Yeah,
it makes you uncomfortable, but I want you to claim what you're proud of for yourself right now. Like, I want you to tell the audience, whoever's listening out there, however many people listen to this or watch this, what are some things that you're proud of for you?
Yeah. And what's crazy is, like, the most things that I'm mostly proud of are academic, which is, like, I don't like that mostly about myself. But yeah, in terms of, like, you know, things academically I'm proud of, like, I, again, was valedictorian, like, sophomore year in college. I got, like, the highest GPA in my chemical engineering class. That was also got like some belt thing. It was so dragged. It literally was so dragged for no reason.
I hyped her up.
It was
crazy.
Like so extra.
I hyped her up so crazy.
Yeah.
So all right, you went over that pretty quick. So basically, if you get the highest GPA in a certain chemical engineering class, they like hand out this belt.
Oh.
And I was working out, and she walks into Kelly Fitness Center with this like legit spinnable
it's like a
WWE belt. And I was like, yo, you're a gangsta. Like, you're a unit. What the fuck?
Oh, my God.
Like, chemical engineering? I don't know. All right, I gotta take a step back. But, like, in my opinion, this is, like, self-talk that you need to do to yourself sometimes.
Yeah.
Like, shitting me?
I agree.
Yeah. One of the things that I just know is that you worked with Colgate, right?
Yeah, that too.
So, like, that's the first thing that popped in my head.
Yeah.
Chesco told me about a year ago now, right?
Well,
about a year ago.
Well, 2 summers I was with them.
So for 2 summers.
Yeah.
Wow, late. But 2 summers ago, Chesco was like, yo, you know, I'm going to break the news to you. Act surprised when Gabby tells you.
Are you kidding?
No, like,
wow.
You know, she's working with Colgate. And I was like, no freaking way. I felt like for a split second, I was your boyfriend, in the sense that, like, sorry. But, like, in the sense that, like, I felt so genuinely proud and loved that accomplishment. And I'm curious, like, do you allow yourself the time and the space to appreciate that for yourself?
Definitely, that was one that I was like, I was screaming. That was one that I was super proud of. I was going into my junior year, so I was only a sophomore, and I literally applied as a joke. Like, I didn't believe in myself at that point, and not as a joke. Like, I didn't think I was gonna get it. Like, I had like no hope. I just like, let me just do it, just to do it. And then when I got the call and then I had the interview, it was like literally 1 hour interview. It was so intense. And then I got the call like a week later, and it was absolutely amazing. We actually celebrated. You know, we went out. It was amazing.
Mad cute. So when I found out, I went to like Walgreens or CVS, and I got mad Colgate products, and like put them in a little baggie. I'm such a good boyfriend.
Oh man, I
was like ecstatic when I found out.
Awesome.
I was so proud.
Yeah.
But yo, she blows my mind every single day. Like, just her work ethic and opportunities that are put her way, and just
it's
it's
you
endless.
have an expectation in the back of your mind for Gabby, and you just said on air that she exceeds your expectations.
It's not an expectation. It's more. I'm telling you, it's hard. Super hard to explain. It's an empathy thing where, like, I just know how much work she's putting in is worth something. And when she doesn't recognize it, that's when it pisses me off. But when she exceeds it, that's when it's like, what did I say? It's like a grounding thing. It's a lot of grounding within the relationship. But it's vice versa too, because like I have self-doubt more like often lately than like, and it, you know, it goes both ways.
Yeah, and I definitely will agree. Now we're talking about our relation now, but like I definitely will agree that I do put some on him, in terms of like how loving he should be sometimes, or like making time for me when his life is extremely busy. It's literally wild.
Yeah, but I mean, that's like deep stuff. But
Yeah.
that's work in progress, obviously. But even academically, like
Yeah,
there was a point.
Yeah, that too.
There was a point in the relationship where I was like, "Yo, you gotta." It was to a point where it's like, I'm dating a valedictorian. Like, oh shit. I thought she had an expectation on
That's
me.
when
So when I couldn't reach that, that's when it was like, oh my god, I'm letting her down. Blah blah blah. So like expectation goes both ways. Yeah, but we had-
I want to talk about that.
We had
Yeah, I don't want you to
discussions.
think
We
that.
had discussions because like, yo, me trying to do chemistry homework, I got
He wouldn't even let me
Forget about
tutor
it.
him. Like he
pissed.
literally
Forget
wouldn't
about
even.
it.
pissed because
Yeah.
she made it look like a 2-year-old could do it, and I'm sitting there
Oh
confused,
my god.
and I'm literally like sweating, like I'm dumb, I'm stupid.
No.
What's going on? Like I'm not meeting the expectation.
Do you feel like, Gabby, do you feel like a lot of the expectations that we place on ourselves aren't true, like aren't in reality, in terms of like Tesco just said that like he had a lot of expectations because he thought that
Right.
you had that expectation for him. Do you
Right.
feel like you have expectations for yourself that are, you know, pseudoly, I just made that word up, like pseudo placed by other
Like
people?
pseudo expectations, like
Pseudo
fake
yeah,
expectations.
pseudo expectations in a sense.
Do you
Um,
put them on yourself, thinking other people have them on you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely growing up and mostly in high school, like I wasn't the nerd, but like everyone knew like
You were smart.
yeah, everyone knew that. And even though I did play sports, like I was on the varsity basketball team and stuff like that, whenever like I would go out or like go a certain place, I felt like I had to act like super proper. Like I couldn't like let loose or anything like that because like they're expecting me to be like this uptight like person, so I would just like be shy and like or wouldn't be my true self because I was like they're I think they expect me to act a certain way. So like in that aspect, I definitely would say that.
So there's a clear distinction between your own internal expectations versus the like legit expectations that
Yeah.
people have for you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
there's different views of it, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you react when you feel like you don't meet up to those expectations?
I feel like the confidence definitely goes down, or I just feel a little not inadequate, but like maybe I didn't try my hardest, or I just question, my ability to do that certain, task. Overthinking is definitely really big with me. He knows.
Yeah, big overthinker.
Like if I do one little thing wrong, it's like, oh my god, like
The world's ending.
yeah, like what are they gonna think? Like I don't know. It's just overthinking's big.
There's like this quote where it's like, if we think about it, we suffer twice. Ryan, can you pull that up for us? It's like when we think about it, we suffer twice than when we actually do experience it.
Well, yeah. So I'm reading the 4 Agreements.
Oh, okay,
I'm
yep.
not an author guy. I can't tell you the author off the top of my head, but he relates human suffering to yourself, and you're not truly free. Like other animals experience something, they feel guilty for a little bit, and they move on. Human beings have memory. And
Right.
memory is what causes consistent suffering. So you didn't meet an expectation, you overthink. That's one feeling of guilt. You overthink again, more guilt, again, guilt.
Like a guilt cycle.
Yeah.
Even a boyfriend or a girlfriend or a father and a mother, they remind you. They bring that guilt onto you. And the guy was like, the author of the book was like, is this fair?
Yeah.
Like, it's not fair to overthink for yourself, to make yourself suffer, to have people around you to make you remember and make you suffer. Is that making sense?
Yeah. Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think so.
And the quote you're thinking of is by Newt Scamander.
Mhm.
And he says that my philosophy is that worrying makes you suffer twice.
There it is.
Yeah.
Worrying. Thank you, Ryan. Worrying makes you suffer twice. But the memory thing, I'm still thinking about because
Yeah.
now I want you to talk about
Yeah.
how your memory plays an influence on the expectations that you create for yourself in the future.
Right. Well, I have a good example of that memory aspect thing. So, as I mentioned, like I played basketball, wasn't the greatest, or I gotta admit that. Growing up, I think I was pretty good. Like I don't know from what
Nah, she was a unit.
like in like eighth grade,
Like eighth
middle
grade.
school, I actually was like really really good. And then in my opinion, from what I've heard from others, and then once I went into high school, I was getting more serious with it. I was in IAU teams. That's like summer like basketball teams. Sorry, sorry. And then from there, I tried out for this one team that was like amazing. They're like called Lady Knicks, and they had like this A and B team, and obviously I wanted to be on the A team. So, and I unfortunately didn't make that, and my parents expected me to make the A team. Like obviously, like I had been doing all these other AU teams, like trainers, whatever, all this, and then so I ended up making the B team, and I was like, okay, do I suck? Like what is this? And from then on, like that just stuck with me forever. And as I, kept like growing up in basketball and kept playing on different teams, and went throughout high school, my confidence just deteriorated like completely, and I was not good. Like by the time I reached my senior year, like I just didn't care for it anymore. I don't know. That one thing really just stuck with me, and I just kept questioning my ability, and over time it just like, and I just didn't want to play anymore. Like I literally I was like waiting for like the season to be over. Like it was terrible.
Like how toxic can one single memory be? Yeah. This is one example of probably multiple. I mean, I can't think off the top of my head, but it's like you're consistently going back to the feeling you have, like the lack of confidence, the worthlessness, and just a range of emotions.
I think that's why slumps are so important, especially in baseball, as mental of a game that is. And in golf, like, are you kidding me? Slumps in sport, basically what you just described.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the ability to recognize our failures having more impact than our ability to recognize our successes.
Yeah. And also, like, my sister, she also played. She was amazing. Like, she got offered some, like NYU and, like, other schools to play, like, in college. So then I was also, like, comparing myself to that. I was like, okay, here I am making, like, 6 points. Like, this is terrible. And then my parents, obviously, like, they wanted me to also do as great as she did. So it definitely was challenging growing up.
So you just referred to comparing.
Yeah, I was going to say comparing yourself to other people.
Let's get into it.
You have a lot of people to compare in your life.
Yeah.
So, like, just your parents coming and, like, making a living for themselves. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, my family, too. You come from nothing, and then you build this amazing family. Yeah. Your mother's an engineer, first of all, a successful one at that.
Mm-hmm.
Your sister, valedictorian.
On Wall Street.
Successful Wall Street businesswoman, like crazy successful.
Yeah.
And it's like there's people in your family that you have to compare yourself to. How does that affect you, honestly?
Good, and like, so I'll say start off with the good. Like, it definitely challenges me.
Motivates
it's like,
you?
Yeah. Like, I want to be, up there too. Like, I've worked as hard, maybe even harder in some aspects, and I'm like, okay, like I deserve to be there. So that just challenges me and motivates me, because my family is amazing. Like you said, like they're super accomplished and very successful,
super supportive.
Yeah,
super supportive.
Yeah, and been there for me through all of the challenges that I've had, like academically. Like, my mom, like my biggest supporter. And in terms of like the negatives, again, like I would say like the comparing, like me comparing like myself and like expecting to reach that, and if I don't, then I feel like my worth and like I didn't try my best. I didn't do what I was supposed to get to that point.
It could be so toxic.
Yeah.
I could only imagine being in that position. Like if you don't make it. Like if you didn't meet that perceived expectation you've created in your mind. Because in all reality, if you weren't the valedictorian, how much would it affect you sitting at this table right now? In the moment, you would probably be like, oh my God, like my life's falling apart, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
But in the moment, like, it probably wouldn't affect it, like, now as much.
Yeah.
But, like, to not meet that, I don't know.
The sibling aspect is really crazy to me because I was an only child until I was 9.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had nothing to compare to other than, like, my parents and, like, what their expectations for me were. But now I have a young, brilliant 12-year-old brother who is totally different than me. Like I'm the coordination. I mean, he does taekwondo. I don't want to like shit on him because he's awesome. But like he's way smarter than I was at his age, And I wonder how and if he's comparing me to himself.
Mm-hmm.
And he's 12, so I don't get into like many deep conversations with him about it. But I was an only child for a while, so I didn't really have anything to compare it to except for like my friends and my parents, and that was about it. So I was just rolling, and then I'm thinking about like if I had an older brother, if I had an older sister, and I saw their success, how would that have an impact on me? And I'm really just trying to kind of take like a listening role right now. Like I'm trying to listen to everything that you're going through, so then I can maybe get a hint of what Evan, my little brother, is going through.
Oh, so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I think when the time's right, a conversation will be needed. Straight up. I mean, he's still young. He's 12. But he's starting to, I think he's maturing, obviously.
Yeah, he definitely is. I mean, he's almost as tall as me now. So
yeah, he's a unit, dude.
He's
He's like making music and stuff. He's brilliant. He's a genius.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
12?
Yeah, and he's big into like Roblox and like Minecraft, and he's like building his own games.
Wow, you got a whole like diverse background. That's crazy.
He's very like technical. He's science, like accelerated math.
Wow.
Look,
I'm social.
Society.
I'm
I mean, we talk about it in
True.
public health and
True.
philosophy, and that's what society's turning into. And I think if you're a certain age and you don't excel in those things, life's going to start getting a little hard.
Let's talk about society expectations then.
Yeah, true.
Do you feel like you are? I mean, I want you to get deep in terms of like your experience being a woman in STEM, for example.
Colored woman in STEM.
Colored woman in STEM. Do you feel like society's expectations and ideas of you has nothing to do with maybe Gabby, but just where you come from, you know, and what you look like? Do you think that will have an impact on your professional growth and or personal growth?
Yeah, so I definitely think growing up, like I went to, as I mentioned, like an all-girls like Catholic high school. There wasn't a lot of like people of color in that school, so you know I was even growing up in middle school with Francesco, like there wasn't a lot of diversity in that either. So I just grew up, you know, being that, you know, part of that lower count. So I didn't really like it didn't really affect me. Like going into college and like in my chemical engineering major, there's only like several of us, like out of like 40. It's just like very small major guys, and it's just I don't know. I've always been used to that, so there's nothing really.
So because it's familiar, it's not as daunting.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it is. But yeah, I would say the numbers are increasing, which is really nice to see. My mom she was literally like the only Hispanic woman in her graduating class for civil engineering at Manhattan College. So that was she's a big example to me.
Now I want to twist it the other way. Not offense, like not that you take offense from it, but do you feel a type of way that it's like I'm a person of color, like they're only thinking I'm successful because I made it as a person of color? Is that making sense?
Not really.
I don't know how to explain it.
Do you get what he's saying?
Not really.
Like I was helped
like
in some way?
They're only proud of your accomplishments because you're a person of color.
Oh.
You mean
because
like
you're part of a minority group?
Exactly.
You feel like they celebrate them more.
Do you think they celebrate you? Exactly.
Oh yeah.
Help me explain it. Yeah.
Well, when I was valedictorian, like there were some like Hispanic moms that came up to me and was like, "Oh, like you know," they would make a comment like, "Oh my God, like Dominican women love seeing that like up there," but I think that's more of like they can relate and they're just proud that someone of their, you know, ethnicity was able to accomplish that.
But that doesn't mean anything to you, or does it?
Oh no, it did.
Oh, it does.
It's
like working for a company that's like, you could tell they're trying really hard to build a diverse community. Like you know what I'm saying?
Well, for not the companies that I've.
No, I'm saying like if that were ever to happen.
What do you mean?
I can't explain. It's fine.
Yeah, like
we'll go on. I can't put it into words.
That's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I want to ask you a question. You were talking about public speaking a little earlier, and your expectations that, or maybe the fear of expectations from others that you might not be living up to, like what a good public speaker looks like, for example. You know, I want you to talk about some of your experiences with public speaking and how maybe that's transitioned into right now.
Yeah. So definitely growing up, I was super shy. When I reached like high school, that's when I started like coming out of my shell more. And I'll never forget, there was one presentation I had. I think it was for AP US Gov or just AP US history or something, and I was presenting. In the middle of it, I'm like, wait, what am I gonna say? What was I gonna say? Like, literally, I said that out loud, and I looked at like my friend, and she was like, I don't know, like, why? It was so embarrassing. Like, that literally scarred me forever. And like, as I kept doing other presentations, like throughout, I was just like mortified, and I would make like small mistakes, and I would just overthink it, and like that would just like kill my confidence. But then going into college, recently, just senior year, we started doing presentations. Like, I haven't done them like throughout my entire years. And I definitely feel like I've grown in terms of public speaking. And you really challenged me when we went to like the Hershey student engagement thing for
before the B.O.N.E was created.
Yeah, that was why I have never done anything like that in my life, and that really like challenged me and got me out of my comfort zone. And it was really nice sharing experience that I had with freshmen.
You killed it.
Yeah, like, and you have to recognize like how well did you perform?
Right. I want to just.
I still thought I did terrible. That's crazy.
I want to say that you killed it, and I want you to talk about why you think you killed it, because I know you killed it too.
She just said she thinks she did terrible.
Not terrible, like. Oh yeah, she was there. Yeah.
Like, what do you? I want to ask. Like, I want to make sure I'm asking this the right way. What do you think you need in order to deliver a good speech or a good presentation? What is it that makes you feel comfortable? Because someone might need that out there.
That helped me feel comfortable?
Like,
is what you're saying?
like what helped you? What helped make you feel comfortable enough to stand up in front of people and talk? And if someone's listening, how can they incorporate that like into their life?
I was just like, I went into it thinking, I'm just imagine it being conversation, like it's a normal conversation. You're not talking, and like no one's expecting anything of you, like to like
full circle. Wait,
I always was talking to whenever I go before a presentation, I say I'm super nervous. They're like, oh, just imagine, like if you think about it, people they care, but like they don't care as much as you think they care. Like you like if you mess up one little thing, they're not gonna be like, oh my god, like she said A instead of that, like that's wild. Like you have to think that that's not a thing. And I think that's what helped me.
Having a conversation with your audience.
Yeah, not like a strict, like you have to be perfect. Like it's just a normal conversation.
I'm jacking it's eustress, dude. I'm jacking it. You could overthink as much as you want, but those nerves, I think that's just your clutch DNA kicking in, telling you like it's time to turn it on and it's time to get it going. Like you were texting me all day, I'm nervous. Yeah. What are we doing right now?
We're having a conversation.
We're just having a conversation.
Yeah. And that's what I thought before. I actually texted Gabe and I was like, any tips? And he was like, you're talking to your literal boyfriend and Zach. Like, come on. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
Like, what is there to be nervous about? And think about it. You're presenting in front of a class. You're presenting in front of a faculty. Like, if you really dumb it down and simplify it, you're just having a conversation with these people, but they're just not replying back. Yeah. They might have some questions at the end, but it's like, just speak your mind. And I am such a hypocrite. I don't practice that. I don't practice what I preach. Bro, my nerves go wild.
That's crazy. I don't even realize.
Like the thump of my heart.
Yeah, you feel it.
No, that's me.
Goes crazy.
That's me.
Crazy.
You can feel your heart rate.
And I'm jacking, like, now it's fine. Like, you could put me in front of anybody and I'll speak fine. But put me in front of a kin class of people I've known for 4 years and went on a 2-week vacation with, like, I still get the thumps. Mm-hmm. But I'm just embracing it as eustress. It's like, this is my body telling me to turn it on. Like, it's go time. Yeah.
I want to talk about inanimate objects in the sense that, like, a microphone in front of your face or a camera on you. These things don't have expectations. They don't have a conscious, right? So, like, they don't have anything. They're not, like, they're just there. They're just existing. And they still affect. Like, having a podcast with no mics versus with mics, you're going to perform differently. Having a podcast being videoed and not videoed, you're going to perform differently. And I want to ask you, Gabby, like, do you feel like, being videoed or having a mic in front of your face is different, or you might have different expectations because of these inanimate objects?
Camera there.
A whole ass setup over here.
And also just like you have to again act a certain way. Like this is like you guys take your time with it. It's like something that's official. You gotta act like it, So.
Do you think like the inanimate object or a person that like you're presenting to is like a mirror reflection of you, and that might be exactly why you get a little anxious? Yeah, so like the microphone is a reflection of me because what I speak into the microphone is exactly who I am. And so the microphone is basically projecting or accepting everything that I say into it, and it's also drawing a voice from me. So it's a mirror factor in a sense that the microphone's going to be there, and it's not going to regurgitate the information back to me, but it's going to listen to me. Like the video, the camera is going to listen to you, and it's not going to regurgitate it back to you, but it's going to listen to you. But just that presence of something there being a reflection of you in a sense. And does that like elicit some of the fear within yourself, which is might be why you get anxious? That's a question. That's not a statement.
I would say more of like it amplifies.
It amplifies. Because they capture it and like they hold you accountable to what you say. Because this is like unbiased. like that video camera is like unbiased.
Yeah.
They're not going to tell you what you want to hear.
Yeah.
They're going to tell you what you say.
Mm-hmm.
And do you feel like what you say is scary sometimes?
Yeah, I definitely overthink it.
Are you afraid?
A lot.
Are you afraid of what you say sometimes?
Yeah, definitely don't want to say the wrong things.
What is
ever,
wrong?
you know? I don't know.
Like who determines right and wrong in that case?
I guess my own personal thought of right and wrong.
That's the mirror I'm talking about.
Yeah. Because some people might think it's like nothing, but I'm like, that's such a big deal, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I have a question as well. Do you tend to like, change like some of your ideas to fit the person that you're talking to, like sort of like a chameleon, like you, depending on the person that you talk to, do you like sort of change your vocabulary or something like that too?
That's so interesting. And I definitely would say, it just depends. Like, how comfortable you feel with somebody. Like, obviously, professor, like, you're going to act like, very mature and say the right things. Like, you're not going to, like, be super cool and just say whatever. But obviously, when I'm, like, my boyfriend, like you, like, super chill, and act like myself.
I think that's a comfortability thing.
Yeah, it's more like who you're comfortable
as well
with.
as an empathy thing. Like, when to act a certain way.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you want to get really deep with it, it's like you're putting a barrier on yourself. Like, for you to feel like you can't be your true self is, in my opinion, never acceptable.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you putting that on yourself? Like, you're trying to fit into a social
straight up
norm.
Go ahead.
I wouldn't say it's fit in. I think it's like time and place. Like, I don't know.
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get, like, in a philosophical sense, like, true freedom, like, true human freedom, you should be able to, like, act however you want to act, not to impress anybody.
And I also think that's, like, comes from expectations of, like, myself. Like I'm expected to act a certain way. Like, I'm who I am. People, like, know who I am. Like, I'm not going to go and, like, start wilding out for, like, I don't know. Like, it's just...
Yeah, no, I agree.
You know?
I agree. But because there's lines to it. There's, like, fine lines that, like, shouldn't be crossed, in my opinion. If you're a professional, if you're a student, if you're a certain type of friend. We talked about it with, like, active listening with Ryan.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what information do you tell people based off your relationship? And there are lines to follow, but I think it's like when you get closer and closer to being your true self with the people you surround yourself with, that's freedom.
Yeah.
That's freedom.
Yeah. And I'm going to cut us off, sadly. What is our time at?
35 minutes.
Yeah, so the 29th minute, audio, gone. So if you have any recognition of like what your recollection of you were talking about around like the 29th minute, maybe bring it up again.
Wait,
because you were just talking into an unopened mic. Yeah, mic was off.
How did that happen?
Something happened with the audio device. I don't know.
Weird.
Yeah, we're rolling again.
Back?
We've been rolling for 3 minutes.
Wait.
So from minute 29 to like 3 minutes ago, we weren't rolling. So
like 5 minutes.
Yeah, but you were dropping.
Okay.
You were dropping some knowledge though. That's all I'm saying. If you want to go back to that.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's fine. I want the viewers to know. That's why
Yeah.
I'm saying it, just so they know.
Apologies.
Yeah.
Blip up.
You honestly, you might be able to. They might be able to hear you in the background, so we'll be
Maybe.
fine.
Yeah,
It's
whatever-
fine.
whatever
Whatever
it
it
is.
is, it is. No, don't worry. It's fine.
Yeah,
Let's keep rolling.
I think we're talking about public speaking.
What do we? You guys said after I said something.
Freedom. You
Freedom.
talked about
Yeah.
freedom.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, when you were talking about that, it immediately reminded me of tattoos. Because tattoos, I've looked at tattoos differently now. I used to hate them because my parents hated them. However, I now look at tattoos as art. And I look at tattoos as like form of expression of yourself.
Yeah.
And a workplace, in a certain workplace, it's unprofessional to show your tattoos. In other workplaces, it is. So I think that more and more organizations, companies, like, just corporate in general, is more accepting of people for who they truly are. And I'm seeing like LinkedIn posts about people like they call it like an uncovering movement, in a sense that like they're wearing short sleeve clothing and dresses, and especially women are starting to freely express their tattoos. And
That's like, something as simple as like a woman smoking a cigar.
right.
Like, there's the most stupid societal norms placed on things. Like,
That's
Yeah.
not okay.
I say that
My
because
family does not agree with
Yeah,
women smoking cigars. And
Why?
honestly, I don't get it.
it doesn't make sense to
don't-
me.
I don't get it.
Unless we're just like
Unless-
woke.
I mean, unless they just don't enjoy it. But if it's that they are,
It's the visual. It's the visual.
Oh, so it's
Yeah.
like an
aesthetic
aesthetic
thing.
thing.
I mean,
it's
Is
the
it with your family
it's
too?
the
Like,
aesthet-
do they?
No. It's the aesthetic of having a tattoo.
Yeah.
Like me personally, the reason that I'm not going below the elbow is because like I say it like a professional opportunity. God forbid, like I can't because of my arm.
yeah.
I should not have that feeling. I should be able to express myself the way I want to express myself.
Mhm.
Did it hurt really bad? Yeah. Is that another reason I don't want to do it yet? Yeah. But like, if I really, really wanted to do it and I had to say no because of a future job, I don't think that's right. But there's a respect thing too. So my parents said I can't get it till I'm 21.
Right.
I could have easily said no. I want to express myself. I'm gonna
Right.
get it when I want it.
Fuck you, mom. Fuck you,
Yeah.
dad. I'm gonna do it anyway.
Love you, mom. Love you, dad. I love my
you too,
mama.
Mom.
I'm a
Dad.
mama's boy. But out of respect, I didn't get it. So there is like respect in place and a time and a place for things. Tattoos being one of them. That expression thing was found with music too lately. She's been tagging along with me. Yeah.
Yeah, he really opened up like my mind to different types of music. I was just like hip hop, like rap, like my whole life. And then when I got with him, country music, I love it now. It's
Yo,
actually crazy. I
we
actually love country music.
Cried. Like for
Yeah.
music to move you to cry, a genre that she didn't like, I was like, yeah.
Crazy,
Like I did that.
crazy.
Yeah, you did.
But at the same time, I'm listening to more rap now. You know.
Does music come with an expectation? An expectation to dance a certain way, an expectation to act a certain way? Like, I'm thinking about it. Like, does country music have an expectation to dance
There's-
differently than...
I would say if you listen to a certain type, people think a certain thing about you. I would say that in society.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's power. That's so powerful.
Yeah.
But bro, this is the 4 agreements. It's the book. Like life is one big dream, and in your one big dream, people are giving you rules to follow, and you're from a young age you say yes to those rules because everyone's bigger and stronger than you.
Until, do you ever wake up?
Until you read a book like the 4 agreements, I guess.
Right.
I don't
You
know.
become woke and your third eye awakens.
Yeah,
and you
it's
have some
like-
spiritual awakening.
Like something that stuck with me was like you didn't even name yourself.
Oh, wow.
Someone gave you a name.
It's wild.
Names and expectations. Gabby, go, please. Names and expectations, relationships, the interplay, go. Sorry, I know I really just threw it on you, but like Gabby Castillo has an expectation behind it because it's your name and you didn't even
Yeah.
name yourself.
Yeah.
Can you I want you to like tell the audience
Expectations?
expectations about like just names in general versus the
Oh.
expectations they have that come with them. Like the expectation that comes because you hear your brother's name or my name. Like you hear Zach Olivan and you already have an expectation.
Yeah, there's like a certain image. Like
Right,
you
you
put
have,
in your
like,
mind
an
of that
image.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah. I definitely would say that. What?
I'm just lost. I don't know. My eyes are glazed. I have
Really?
Yeah, well, I have no idea.
I genuinely feel that like names come with an expectation. If I hear Brian Olivan, I immediately think of honor. My dad. Like I immediately think, oh, you're gonna do something. You're gonna say you're gonna do something. You better fucking do it.
Mhm.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got it.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Pete's a great one.
Pete.
When I think of Pete, it's like honesty, integrity, just
Right.
Yeah, Pete's a
Yeah.
great guy.
Yeah, Pete's good people.
Great guy.
Yeah.
This one.
So even names can just carry an expectation behind it, like subconsciously that we don't even realize. Like you always hear, like I'll never date a Matt, or I'll never date a Sarah. What?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could see that.
What if Matt is like your person, or Sarah?
But like
is,
someone named Matt just isn't.
Whatever.
I'm being the devil's advocate. I'm being the devil's advocate.
Yeah, you just prime example right here.
Yeah.
That was awesome. You definitely did that on purpose.
There's a great scene in Ted. It's like just he's rallying off
rounding names.
white trash names.
Oh my god.
and then it like he didn't get the list. He said a list and he didn't get it right. And he just added like a 3-letter ending to each name.
Yeah.
And got it.
That's right.
I don't know what the name was, but
Yeah.
hilarious.
Ted is a hilarious
Was it like
movie.
basic?
But yeah, the most basic white names. It was hilarious.
It's funny.
Do you feel like anticipation plays a role in the expectations you have for yourself and others? Anticipating people to act a certain way, anticipating yourself to act a certain way, and then all of a sudden shit hits the fan and something happens and oops, that anticipation is now gone.
Yeah. I'll definitely say like interviewing like started off really scary for me. I applied to like this one interview, like the job at Unilever for like to be an intern, and they had like this it was all computerized and you had to answer like certain questions, do like math things, and there was this one question that I was anticipating doing an amazing job. You know, I prepared a lot. You know, whenever I do interviews, I literally study for them, like myself and my resume and stuff like that. And then when I went, and they were it's like you have 1 minute to answer this question and it just stops recording, not even like 30 seconds, and you have like 10 seconds to think. So I'm sitting there and I literally was like blurbing out it was terrible. Like I was just blurbing out random stuff and I was like so nervous. Right when the camera shut off, I literally like cried. It was just the worst experience. Do you remember that?
Hilarious.
Oh, and he's laughing at me.
It's
He literally
so
is like,
funny.
and it was so it was just so terrible. So I definitely.
I laugh because
I-
it's so minute. It's so minute.
It's
There's
really
growth
not.
out of that. There's definitely growth.
For me, it wasn't minute.
Yeah, but you're laughing now. It was.
Yeah.
You grew a little bit. It's gone.
There's this saying, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend 5 minutes thinking about it,
Yeah, dude.
stressing about
But that
it,
did scar me though.
worrying about it. It's like the
From the
5x5 rule.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that could have affected her in 5 years.
maybe.
Jobless.
For the next couple of
So,
interviews, it did scare me.
Yeah, maybe,
It was terrible.
Maybe that's kind of like case by case in the moment.
Yeah.
But like for example, people stress over midterm exams,
Me.
and I'm gonna be honest. Like, oh, did you just say me?
Yeah.
Like, I took a midterm exam. I did well. I took a midterm exam. I didn't do well. That was freshman year. Where am I? Going
Senior.
to graduate school
Oh,
next year.
congratulations.
Oh,
he
yeah.
got it to Springfield. That's his number one.
Oh, yeah.
Congrats, dude.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's
Congrats, man.
That's
You know,
great.
thank you.
it.
guys.
Springfield
I appreciate it.
20.
24.
Springfield 24.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fucking insane.
Possibly 2025 if I get like my third year in
Yeah.
clinical mental health.
God bless, bro. That's
Wow,
awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's
Crazy
amazing.
though, right?
Wow.
You know?
You're gonna be near our cousin now. That's
Oh
wild.
yeah, Tony. Tony's going to AIC for PT.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like
best friends.
literally 2 minutes. Oh,
Awesome.
you got that'd be sick.
It's 2 minutes away.
Literally. It's like a 5-minute walk.
Springfield College and AIC are 2
We could.
minutes.
Wow. That's crazy.
Yeah, we're gonna see each other. I
Yeah.
mean, obviously, but like,
Yeah. Cool.
Wild.
But go back to it, like freshman year, sophomore year, even. You know, you take tests and you're like, in the moment, it's so up close and you can see it, it's so vivid. You can see all the details as if your palm was right in front of your hand, and you can see all the lines and the textures and the calluses. And all right, I'm gonna stop describing my hand. But it's so close. You see all the details, and then the further you pull away, the less dirt there is. The more the clouds kind of clear up, and you can see things from a more, I feel like, holistic picture. And that holistic picture, if you want to get real big, is a rock floating in space.
Whoa.
And that's so bliss. Sorry, I got real big there. But listen, like, we're a rock floating in space in nothingness.
Bro.
That's wild.
Gabby goes, whoa.
That got me too.
Ew, that's hilarious.
I definitely would say that from what I'm getting of what you're saying, that it's like looking back, like reflecting on past experiences, seeing that overall they're really not as serious as they were in the moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but bro, you need them.
Absolutely.
Obviously.
You need the 10 minutes of overthinking. You need the 5 minutes of am I good enough?
I feel like that
You
makes
need
it
all
better
that
once
shit.
you achieve it at
You
the end of
need
the
it.
day.
You need anxiety. I mean, you learn how to cope with it, but you never really cope with it. It might last a shorter amount of time, in my opinion. All right. But like,
you need that
in
order to know.
You need the experience, dude. You need it.
Or
like,
else.
what is epistemiology, whatever it's called? What are we learning? Epistemology. What is knowledge? How do you gain knowledge? In my opinion, in my philosophical opinion, is via experience, good or bad. You'll take something away with that experience, and then you'll carry on, and you'll keep learning. So it's like, it's really easy to say, like, oh, that C in bio really isn't affecting me right now. But when I got that C in bio, I'm thank me for getting a C that class, because I fucking figured it out after that. Like, I kind of I needed it. It sucked in the moment, but it was useful for my growth.
So it's like your A minuses, like, useful for your growth. Sorry, that was supposed to be funny. He got it.
Yo, kid said, have your A minuses have been useful for? Yeah, they have though. But they have.
I'm genuinely asking.
Yeah. Affected your growth and like made you want to work harder and.
Your A minuses compared to Chesko's C's.
There were probably moments of like she looks at self-service and was like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. She like.
Right.
But a few minutes later, or whatever, a week later, How do you get rid of expectations? We keep blabbing about expectations. How do you just dance? How do you live? Should we?
Should we get rid of expectations?
How do you know they're negative though?
Yeah. What's negative to you?
Yeah, I don't know. They're not true. Which ones? What? No, I misinterpreted. I didn't. Miscommunication.
Like ones where I'm overthinking. You're like, oh, but no one cares.
Oh.
Like that's it. Like those.
Yeah.
The ones that like you expect yourself to do, really well, get that job, achieve a certain goal like that. I think those.
I think what Chesko's asking is like, is the expectation of getting the good job distracting you from putting everything you have into the moment that you're in right now? Therefore, goals don't mean shit. I shouldn't have said that on there. Please don't. It's like if someone heard that, please don't like take that to heart. But I'm saying if your expectations of something is getting in the way of you living and giving everything that you have where you are right now, it becomes detrimental, I think is what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's preventing you from dancing. And you're more so.
Because I think that's where the overthinking comes in.
Marching.
Yeah, you're more focused on that.
Do you?
Like living in the moment. But I've been doing really well with.
You have? No, I'm proud of you. You have been.
Do you want to dance or do you want to march? So,
I want to dance. Darling.
No, but dead ass. I feel like some people these days are just marching and like into society because they, like you said, living in a dream. They're all programmed.
They're
all programmed. They're telling you
what to do, how to do it.
And you're marching. Everything's in uniform, in unison, one by one. Left, right, left, right. Like,
and God forbid you step out.
God forbid you step out and you're targeted. But when you step out, what do you realize, Gabby? Have you ever stepped out and just danced?
I physically danced.
Yeah, you did. There was like this moment building with tension, and Gabby's like, I mean, I did dance my balls off once.
Yeah, I'll be twerking, whatever. It's whatever.
I be twerking.
Nah, but all right. So I think when he says get out of line, it's like, do you ever detach? Do you ever detach from the expectation? Do you ever detach from the feeling of not being good enough or your work ethic not being strong enough and just like things like that? Do you just like step away and enjoy the thing that's in front of you?
Yeah, I tend to, I just forget that, and stop everything and just think that whatever's meant to be will be. I always say, I'm very spiritual and religious, I always say, like, just let it happen according to God's will. And, like, I just let go of it, and I just stop overthinking.
So your faith is what grounds you and lets you trust and therefore brings you here versus attaching to the expectation of something that doesn't even exist yet. Time isn't real. There's no future.
We're living in a simulation. I couldn't even say that with a straight face. We're living in a simulation. Elon Musk is fucking king. Nah, but no, that was some deep stuff. You really dove into expectations. I didn't know. I mean, I knew a little bit, but like.
I was thinking about topics to talk about, and then I was like, you know what? I didn't realize how much was until I sat and thought about it.
Okay. Podcast is what time are we at?
50, but we lost some time. So
it's fine. But so now we've had the conversation. You had some time to reflect. Are you happy with the amount of expectations that have been put on you? Do you want anything to do with expectations change? Like, just give us your last take on expectations, how it affected your life, and like, what are the steps moving forward?
What are you gonna leave someone?
Yeah, I think definitely expectations can have a negative and positive effect on people, and I think the way that you handle them, again by talking about it and reflecting on it and realizing, that they are there. You're not crazy for thinking certain things.
I'm gonna need you to stop. It did it again. I don't know. Damn. We were dropping bars again.
Yeah, that was good.
It stopped at 15 minutes. I have to save this. You want to talk about something while I do this? But her mic's out right now, so.
Where is... No, so basically your mic is still plugged in, but there was like an interruption in the audio. So the audio stopped, whether it be like a play button hit or like something, you know what I mean? So like your mic is still on. It's just not being recorded by it. Like nothing's picking up your audio.
This is mad annoying though. This has never happened before.
It's weird. I guess we'll practice like a final words section. Like if you were to leave the audience with something, what would you tell them?
No, don't say it like for real yet.
Just bullet points.
Yeah.
You don't have to like cohesively like kind of go into it, but just like bullet points. Okay.
Like it's okay to fail sometimes, and
yeah.
So reflect on that. And not everyone's perfect, even though you may think you have to achieve every single goal. That's unrealistic.
All right, we're back in 3, 2, 1.
Want me to just start?
Yeah. So, all right, I don't know what's going on today, but basically we're ending off of like last words about expectations. Like, what do you want to say to the people for like?
Yeah. Audio
for closing. Yeah, I mean they could hear it this time. It's whatever.
Yeah, so I would say that expectations are good and bad sometimes. They can motivate you, but they can also like lower your confidence in some aspects. You should just realize that they're there, and to reflect on them and talk about it with your friends and family. And also just realize you don't have to be so hard on yourself all the time. Being perfect is not realistic. Like it's okay to fail sometimes and not achieve those goals. But as long as you just get back up and just keep pushing and, keep striving for the next goal that you set for yourself and just be motivated, I think that's what is the most important thing to overcome any expectation at the end of the day.
Amazing.
Wow.
The B.O.N.E.
Yeah.
We talked.
Yeah, we did. Thank you, Gabby.
Thanks, babe.
Of course.
Love you.
Love you guys.
I love you, too.
Bye.